Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to present our research with the title Barriers and Enablers for Developing Sustainable Supply Chain at Traditional Shipyards in East Java, Indonesia. This research is a collaboration between Shipbuilding Institute of Politeknik Surabaya and Chung Christian University in Taiwan, and it is supported by Directorate General of Research and Development, Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education, Indonesia, under Grant Basic Research in 2020. Here is the outline. First, I would like to present the background or motivation of this research. Second, we describe the literature review that we use in this study. Third, we present the research methodology. Then it is followed by results and discussion, conclusion, and finally references. East Java province in Indonesia is set by government as one of shipbuilding industrial cluster. Most of fishermen wield the wooden fishing boat. Therefore, the supply chain of material used in the traditional shipyard has a critical role for developing sustainability. Sustainable supply chain has become a challenge for the competitive advantages. Sustainability consists of economics, environment, and social benefits. In economic sector, there are financial benefits in the production process. In environment sector, there is an environmental friendly for greening the production. And in social sector, there is a specific intervention to improve social well-being. In developing sustainable supply chain, there are barriers and enablers for the implementation. In this study, we aim to prioritize and analyze the barriers and enablers of sustainable supply chain in building the traditional fishing boats. We expect that the results can be used to develop the sustainable supply chain in traditional shipyards. The sustainability assessment aims to sustainability improvement. Now we move to the literature review section. Some new methods for measurement of sustainability and its improvement are required. In order to measure the sustainable performance, key performance indicators should be developed to assess the products, processes, policies, and also 3 dimensions of sustainability. In the implementation of sustainability supply chain, there are barriers and enabler factors of all dimensions. We use the literature review from Rises, Serafi, Piyatanmafong, and Kumar and Rahman. Now we move to the research methodology. This figure shows the research methodology of sustainable supply chain at the traditional shipyard. Firstly, we review several literatures about barriers and enablers factors of sustainability. Secondly, we classify these entire barriers and enabler factors into environment, social, and economic sectors. Thirdly, We did survey to the 5 largest traditional shipyards in Lamongan, East Java, Indonesia. We interviewed the owner and the project manager of these shipyards related to the barrier and enabler that they might face in building of fishing boats. Subsequently, we made a prioritization of the key barrier and enabler using analogical hierarchy process or AHP method. And finally, we analyzed the result of AHP and addressed the remarks. This is our classification of barrier factors into environment, social, and economic sectors based on the literature review. And this is our classification of enabler factors into environment, social, and economic sectors based on the literature review. Now we move to the results and discussion section. We can see here that lack of information is the number one of barrier factor. Then it is followed by poor quality of human resources on the 5th rank. Meanwhile, fund constraint is on the 2nd rank, followed by high cost and lack of visual and statistical control during green line implementation on the 3rd and 4th rank, respectively. Now we discuss these top 5 of barrier factors as follows. The first barrier is lack of information. All the traditional shipyards do not know about the law of waste treatment from fishing boat building. Then the second barrier is fund constraint. Some of them know the benefit of recycled wooden waste, such as making the handicraft. However, they do not know how to sell it. The third is high cost. Most of the traditional shipyards will invest on purchasing wooden logs whenever they receive down payment from the customers. This is because the wooden price is always increasing. Besides, they also will sell sheet wood in order to get more profit and can be used for buying nails and bolts. These are the strategies of traditional shipyard in encountering the fund constraints and high costs. During the green line implementation, some of the traditional shipyards are less control of visual and statistics. It happens because they more focus on the boat building but not on the greening activities. And finally, the fifth barrier is poor quality of human resources. The workers will be trained to master all the boat building activities such as cutting wood, hull construction, frame installation, hatch installation, the wheelhouse building installation, machines installation, and painting. Moreover, rolling system is commonly practiced in the traditional shipyard. On the other hand, only training is not enough to equip the workers. but also the intelligent quotient is important. Here, there is no top 5 enabler factors in environment sector. And in social sector, top management commitment and support is on the second rank. In economic sector, risk mitigation is on the first rank. Then it is followed by monitoring and auditing supply chain partners, availability of financial support, and recognition on the third, fourth, and fifth, respectively. Now we discuss these top 5 of enabler factors as follows. In mitigating risk, most of the traditional shipyards convey the education on waste treatment management and working accident insurance. Besides, the support and direction from the top management is very important to implement the environmentally friendly production process. In monitoring and auditing supply chain partners, all the traditional shipyards will evaluate the wooden supplier. If the wood quality does not meet their requirement, they will bargain the price or change to other supplier. Moreover, all the traditional shipyards have financial support availability, but some of them are reluctant to modernize the devices to support the greening production process. Meanwhile, they all agree that recognition of the society as environmentally friendly traditional shipyard affects to the sales growth and organization's reputation. By greening production process, the number of wooden needed is very efficient. What we can conclude are as follows. The traditional shipyards invest on wooden logs to anticipate the fund constraint and increasing material price. The intelligent quotients of workers and the number of training are important to master in all fishing boat building activities. The support and commitment from top management to implement the environmentally friendly production process is very necessary. And the recognition of environmentally friendly shipyards can increase their sales growth and reputation. Here are selected references that we use in this study. And thank you very much for your attention.